Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a rant. Now, I don't do these too often, but when I do, because I'm pretty mad about something. And in today's video, I'm sure you read the title, we're going to be talking about high school English class. Now, in the background, I'm sure you'll see that it is the classified gameplay here, the public match that I just played. I just kind of wanted to show this off as well because I thought it was pretty funny. I was playing with this guy here, and he was pretty newbie. Like, I don't think he knew how to pack a punch or anything on this map. So I was just kind of sitting here with him, helping him along, and as you'll see later on, he begins to follow me around because he's just gonna die if he isn't around me, which is sad. But yeah, anyway, hopping right into the rant here. So the first thing that I'd like to just begin off with is that the class is completely subjective. And what I mean by this is that, let's just say you write an essay about something, right? And you hand it in to 5 different teachers. You're going to get 5 different marks. There's no right or wrong answer per se. So one English teacher might think that you're a great student and that your points are all really well and that they agree with them. But another teacher may be like, "Oh, I disagree with this points, like politically or whatever, and therefore I do not think your essays is as high of quality." So, you get a 60 on it, whatever, let's just say. That is the main reason why. The teacher should be marking it all on the same level, however they don't. Now, my friend actually tested this because he handed it in like 3 different essays to 3 different teachers throughout high school, and they all graded them, and he got like a 75, an 86, and like a 97 or something like that. Like, just crazy stuff. Like, don't really understand why they have the class. That's kind of why I'm making the video, but no class should be like that. They should be all grading the same level. And it's because some teachers believe that, they'll be like, no one's perfect or whatever, right? But just such a bullshit argument, because they're marking you based on, if you do what you're supposed to be doing, rather than, if the friggin' essay is like Shakespearean, like god tier level writing. So I don't really understand with that. But anyway, here, next point that I have here is that the stuff that you learn in English is basically completely pointless. For example, Shakespeare. When am I ever going to need to use Shakespeare in life at all? Like, never. You memorize the stupid plays for the tests, and it makes no sense. You memorize the quotes, and you memorize what happens, and then you just, write your test based on, like, whatever it is, like, in the plays. Like, it's so stupid. It makes no sense. Like, when are you ever going to need to know that in life? And it's also, not to mention, it's completely boring, because the stories themselves are just, like, actually dog shit, if I'm being honest. Like, I've been listening to them, and they're just so pointless and boring. But yeah, now people are going to be coming at me saying, "Oh, well, math is pointless and boring." Now, on the contrary, you may believe that it's boring, right? But it's not completely pointless, because math teaches you to think a different way. I heard this on Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said this, and it was like, math teaches you to think in a sort of problem-solving way, which helps you. Oh, here, actually, watch this. This ballistic knife sniper rifle shot right there, that was absolutely amazing. I did not expect to get that. Anyway, I have another one later on, you'll see. Sorry to get sidetracked. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about. So, math teaches you to think in a different way, in a sort of problem-solving way, because in life you're going to encounter problems, and you're going to need to know how to solve them. So you're going to need to have the correct frame of mind, like sort of the correct way of thinking about things whenever you tackle a problem. That math really teaches you how to, sort of deal with these sort of problems in this new way of thinking. It's not necessarily you're going to be able to use all the stuff you learn in math if you're just going into like a job in, like, let's just say, I don't know, construction or whatever. But it does teach you to think in a certain way that when a problem occurs, you are prepared to tackle the problem and have the right sort of neuron connections in your head that will allow you to tackle a problem, if you guys see what I mean. Now, also, in math, there's sort of applications for math in life, a lot more than there are with English. Like, in math, you can go into like engineering or in coding or in any of the sciences. You can go into a lot of economics uses math, stuff like that, probability, like stuff like that can be used a lot in our real world. Math is literally just the language of our real world, whereas English, like, when are you ever going to need to know how to use Shakespeare for in any type of job in life? Literally never. Literally maybe some type of historian that specializes in, like, English, but that's such a niche scenario. You're never going to need to know it. And in terms of writing essays and in news articles, stuff like that, that is useful for life, but there's just a lot less sort of applications to it in general. Now, in English as well, a lot of teachers try to find meaning where there's actually nothing, and they'll sometimes like fault you for it if you do not see it. So for example, like, let's say you think that some teacher means like a certain phrase, like, so let's say the grass was greener, for example, right? And they think like, oh yeah, that symbolizes health, the grass is healthy, stuff like that, when realistically that is not what was meant by the original author. So it's all, again, just all subjective, and it really makes the class just a really shitty time. Now, this is something that's not so much a part of the class itself, but it's more so like, not so much the content, but more like with the class itself, is that if you have a bad English teacher, it is an absolutely just atrocious time, because a shitty math teacher can make you you might make you like really bored in the class or really mad in the class, right? But you can still do good on tests. You can still learn the math, because math is math. It doesn't change. It's like that Incredibles meme, right? But English, if you have a teacher that hates you, then it's over, man. Like, you're dropping at least 10% in that class, because they can read your entire essay, right? They can like it, or maybe not like it, whatever, and then just because they do not like you as a person, they can just take marks off, and you literally cannot do anything about it. You're just sitting there with your hand, and you're just like, what the fuck am I even doing with my life right now? So that, honestly, that's like the main reason, not the main reason, but that is a huge component as to why English is such a flawed class, is because the teacher literally can make or break you in it based on if they like you or not. And I've had that happen to me so far, and it's not fun. It's not fun, because at least in any other class you can get by, but in English it solely relies on if the teacher likes you, and if they like you, then they'll agree with your opinions, and if they don't like you, they might not agree with your opinions. So yeah. Now, you may be wondering, why do you care so much, or why, there's careers in math, and then there's also careers in English. Like, why is it that big of a deal? And the reason why it's such a big deal to me is because, at least in Canada, in grade 12, you have to take English. There's like it's one of the credits that's required. It's actually, I think, the only credit that's required for going into university, is that you need to have an English credit. No math, no science, nothing else, no politics, nothing. You just need to have an English credit, which is absolute bullshit, because let's say there's people who are not that strong in English, right? Why are you limiting them, even when it's a flawed class? There's nothing good about it. There's no good content in it, and you're sitting in there, and it's a flawed class, and you're making that the prerequisite into going into university. I think that in grade 12, you're sort of trying to build your foundation, right? You're trying to get all the classes you need. You take your spares because you don't really need to take any random ass courses anymore. And grade 12 is supposed to be that final year where you really get your life together, taking the courses that are required for your program. Why are they still making you take a class that is literally worthless, that you don't even need to go into your program? Like, what engineer is going to need to know how to interpret freaking Hamlet? Like, no engineer is going to need to know that. So I don't really understand why we have to take it all 4 years, like maybe up to 3, because like, even if you're not a math person, you can still agree with me that, like, even though it's not required, you shouldn't have to take it for your program. Like, it just makes no sense. And It's just like how math is. Math is like required for 3 years. It should just be like that, you know. You get, because I get why you take English. It teaches you how to articulate words. You know, teaches you how to like articulate your thoughts and stuff like that. But just like how math teaches you how to solve problems, you know, you don't need it. You shouldn't have to take it for your final subject in school. You know, before university. It just makes no sense. It's like favoriting one over the other. But yeah. Anyway, that's really it for this video, guys. I just wanted to like just blow off some steam here, because this really makes me angry. And yeah, so finishing up here with the video though in the background is we just kind of sat here in the very end of the game for like a good like 40 minutes just camping in this one spot. It was pretty epic until eventually we got overrun and we kind of died. But yeah, he eventually got his pack-a-punch weapon, which was pretty cool. His pack-a-punch Mark II, which I think that was his first time ever pack-a-punching on Black Ops 4. But yeah, anyway, that's it guys for the video. Thank you for enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.